This is our Camp Model Roundtable in April of 2022, and it'll be our last gathering before the summer because, yeah, we're getting really close at this point. So our main goal today is just to go around here updates. I know people specifically want to talk about COVID mitigation protocols. Seem like a lot of folks are trying to make decisions in the next couple of weeks here. So we'll talk through that. Also, you could mention things like how your summer registration numbers are looking, summer staff stuff. I'm also especially interested in anything new that people are trying this year. And then of course there's time for questions. So who wants to go first?
Well, mine is rather simple, so I can go first.
All right, go for it, Don.
We have very few campers. Ours tend to be local at this point, and they camp out during the week. They pick the place where they camp. We don't get that for them. We provide the jobs every day. So right now in our area, it's pretty much COVID's done is the attitude. We still are concerned about the clients. So we're very cautious about asking them to be vaccinated and encouraging the teams to be vaccinated or stay away from the clients. That's kind of the COVID side of what we're doing. I don't think we're going to have any groups coming from out of the area. We've had a few in the spring, but we did not have any this year, colleges. So we're on a pretty good track right now, hoping that we don't get a rise in COVID cases this summer. We're on a record. We're on pace to complete 120 projects this year, up from 105 last year. So keep our fingers crossed that that's all going to work out. So that's my short but very sweet update.
Great, thank you. And I'm taking notes while you all talk in the chat box. I've gotten used to doing that in our recent scrums, and I find it saves me time. I'm not having to type my handwritten notes later, so I'm just going to keep on that track. Who wants to go next?
I can go. So we are thrilled that our weeks are full for this summer, plus the addition of one that's going on right now. There was a group from up in Quakertown, Pennsylvania. It's actually a Christian school that wanted to do their spring break as a local mission trip. And so they brought 50 students down. And in our program, they sleep overnight in a local church here. They come in on a Sunday, they leave on the following Saturday. And we provide the food, food for them, programs for them, and obviously a whole lot of work for them. And we did up our registration this year because we knew the price of food was going to be higher, and surely is after doing it now for a week. So we charge $4.50 a person. And for those 50 people, it looks like our food is we're not at the end of the week yet, but it looks like our food's going to come in around $4,000, just as an idea. And, but yeah, we're thrilled. We have groups. We're down outside of Philadelphia. We have a group coming from Maryland this summer that comes every year. We have a group from Boston that comes every year. They're coming. We have a couple of new groups. And so it's all looking good.
Great. Do you have any questions for the group, Bob?
I do not.
Okay. And Don, I should have asked you that as well. Did you want to ask anything specifically? You're muted. Still can't hear you. There you go.
No questions. What college is coming down? Bob?
No, not a college.
Oh.
There's the group that's here now is from a Christian high school in Quakertown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. That's
right.
That's all.
The other groups are all church groups. different church groups from different parts of the wherever.
Okay,
Mhm.
thanks.
Okay, great.
Now I should say, we did limit this year to 60 per camp, which was tough for one of our groups. They originally were planning to bring 100, but we just didn't, at the time when we put the limits on, we didn't know what the mandates were going to be in Pennsylvania. So we limited to 60 per camp this year.
Mhm. Okay. Great. Thanks.
I can try next.
Okay.
We have 800 volunteers planned for this summer, which is about half of our 2019 levels, but we're pretty excited. We've got some new host facilities this year, including at an outdoor school, at a campground that we're really, really excited about. Just kind of changing gears a little bit from how we used to do things. So feeling very lucky to be in the Redwoods and, in awesome settings that will just help the camp setting be, or our, camp model setting be just really fun and different this year, and also COVID safe. So we have to, worry less about masks, et cetera, because it's all outside. So yeah, we are about kind of a third of the way through doing some site visits this spring, and are just looking forward to getting back to work in those ways. We also had some spring break groups this past couple months here, and that kind of got us back into the gear and hosting volunteers. And we did have one exposure, and someone tested positive from an outdoor work day, which was less than ideal, but good practice for re-emphasizing the importance of the safety measures we do have in place. So feeling prepared and ready, and we're planning to put together a video from our medical advisory council, basically sharing our why we have, things will be different this year. And we're also planning to do 6 volunteer Zoom orientations, which we've never done before. So for all youth and adults to come and join as they're able, we'll record them as well, so folks can, watch it afterwards. But sharing our theme, kind of getting people to know more about the community beforehand, and just 1 hour, but hopefully can get people together on the same page more than just Sunday night. So I think that's about it. I'm just really always curious to hear what the rest of the group has to say about their plans, and we're still looking for affordable COVID tests. So we've worked through Trinity HPSI to find, I think the cheapest ones that I've been able to find through them is $8 per, which is still really expensive. So if anyone has any leads for bulk testing, definitely still interested in that. We got free masks, which is great, but need that as well. I think that's about it for now. And thanks, Bob, for sharing your food costs. Definitely, interested to hear how gas prices and lumber prices, et cetera, are still affecting people. So that's it for now.
Don, you had your
Did
hand up. Did you have a question?
Yes, did you limit the volunteers, or what was the reason, given that it's about half? Is it your limit, or is it just the COVID situation?
Mostly just interest. So we did have 6 partner communities, and we reduced to 3 based on just numbers. We're kind of anticipating that. So we do have plenty of full weeks, which are that 60-ish number. And we would have opened more if we had more people kind of asking or turning people away. So yeah, we've got a site in the Redwoods that's definitely the most popular. It's cooler. People always want to go there.
So do you feel like you limited participation? Okay.
No,
So there's some fear out there about getting back to normal, I presume. Okay.
Yeah, from our experience, we have people on both ends, people saying, I'm not into your COVID safety policies, and other people saying, I just can't get people to sign up because of, COVID fears. So it's like kind of both sides. It's the risk of being in a big group.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Don.
Are you requiring vaccinations? I can't remember.
Yeah, Yeah, so all of our staff and volunteers are required to be fully vaccinated, including a booster as eligible, and we're testing folks beforehand and also 2 days in, and masks will be required inside.
And homeowners, do you require anything? So,
We haven't been, we said we'd prioritize it, but we're doing all exterior work, so it's not really been an issue at this point.
okay. Thanks. Did you have any questions for the group, Megan?
The bulk purchasing of tests, if anyone had any
Mhm.
leads. I linked our COVID safety plans, which haven't changed. We have monthly meetings and they're reaffirmed by our council. I will think of other questions.
Bulk test wise, we have not bought any. We had someone who is a director of a homeless shelter, and they not from the state, from a different state, and they've not used the massive amounts that they've been given. So he sent, I don't know if he asked his board, he might have just sent them to us. We didn't ask for them. We just got a box with a bunch of them in it. And then this is being recorded, but we also live in a very rural area with a bunch of folks who I know are not going to use them. And a lot of our neighbors ordered them from the USPS for us to have for our students, because they'd rather keep us safe or be able to come over for community night for that. So they're sitting in wherever in a U.S. Postal Service warehouse, and a lot of rural Americans don't have internet, and gave them what they wanted, and they gave us what they did not want.
One cool partnership we found was one of the churches we're doing work with. They have a lot of amazing food ministry programs. They actually have testing and vaccinations on their church site. And so they're like, we need to use their tests so we can get more. So here, you come, we'll test your folks. You can have dinner here, learn about the program, and then they can increase their request for more. So hopefully we can find more opportunities like that, because it's sort of a win for everyone.
Allison, since you share a little bit, do you want to do the rest of your update?
Sure. Yeah, so we run programs year round. For our summer, I would say we're probably about half full, with a lot of people not making their final payments yet, though they were requested to by now. It seems like every week or so we have a group cancel. None of them have cited, one in January cited COVID, that they couldn't get their students to be vaccinated, but none of our high schools for the summer have cited that. They just have lack of interest, or they don't have a youth minister that's been in position, or their school got rid of that, or they want to serve locally, for whatever reason. So we have had some weeks cancel. I don't, maybe 1 week is full out of the 9 we do this summer, maybe 2. So we're still advertising. We have 1 week that totally emptied out, so it is open for something more unique. Usually we intermix groups, and we are doing that again from all over. And so yeah, we're about half full. Our project wait list definitely full. We're still about 10 to 12 months out if somebody sends us an application, just because it was really slow during COVID. But yeah, we have an extensive wait list, and we probably had our summer, solidified by November or something, which is unique for us, just with the amount of projects we had. We definitely have full-time staff openings, as well as a full-time salaried home repair project director, project coordinator, whatever you want to call it. We've had some bites, but some people not following through. Some people, we are requiring people to currently be vaccinated, staff, or any overnight visitor, unless they have a medical exemption or age. And so that's been wishy-washy. We did recently have a board member leave who didn't really agree with that. So trying to see when does that maybe change, or does it change at some point after this summer? But since we're bringing folks together from different places, we don't have the ability to be masked in our facility. It just doesn't make sense. We don't have sleeping facilities that are separated, to make sure that everyone can just be together for the week. We are requiring that, and they're testing before they leave. We've not talked about testing during the week, because they only come for 1 week. I don't know if they're positive on Tuesday. They probably already if they have gotten other people sick. So we're still trying. We have not finalized a step-by-step plan of what do we do if someone tests positive. We just always are saying we're following the CDC guidelines. So we're going to get that explicitly written out before our first group, we've talked about it a lot and have dealt with it on a small scale with just when our staff or a few volunteers have been here, but to see what makes sense. Yeah, and we this year, like SSP, are doing we're not calling them town halls, but like volunteer like info nights. Because usually we try to touch base with each of our groups to run over various logistics before they come, and so that's usually just a lot of short phone calls. So instead, we're going to do 3, maybe they'll be up to an hour or so to talk about what does the week look like, to clarify COVID stuff, to talk about the expectations, the packing list, what do chaperones do, make sure they know their driving directions, just all kinds of stuff. So we're really looking forward to having that resource and following that model. Just so, because often we'll just talk to the youth minister or the person planning the trip, but they don't actually come, and then these parents show up as chaperones and they are surprised by what they're being asked to do, though we've given all the information to somebody who should have shared it with them. So we're going to try to we're encouraging them to send the chaperones to these calls as well, if they know who those people will be. And we'll also have it recorded so that we could send it to chaperones later in the week if there's a last minute change. Yeah, but just still trying to figuring out, getting the programming down. It's been a while since we've had students, so revamping things, people getting comfortable with what's going on. So it's definitely an always challenge right now. I don't think I have any questions.
Okay. Thanks. Sounds like lots of good things are happening. Karen, good to see you. You want to give us an update on how things are going at ASP?
Yes. Things are going well. We're obviously in the crunch phase since our week 1 is June 12th. So as of today, we are at 7,800 volunteers. We have 366 groups, and of those, 55 are new groups. So we're really pleased to see some of our recruiting and our ads have paid off with this number compared to last year, where I think we had 13, but it was just a bad year anyway. But we're pleased with how things are moving forward. Let's see. If you talk about where we are with COVID, we will be having 2 forums on May 3rd and May 5th, like we did in February and March, where we open it up for all of the trip coordinators to participate in the Zoom call and ask us any questions that they have, and we'll do a complete download on what our plans are for this summer. I know that they are modifying what we did last year according to where we are with CDC guidelines right now. Through fall and spring, we just continued with what we had in place for last summer. But we do not require all the volunteers to be vaccinated, but we will require that all are tested by 4 days in advance of their departure. And then we rely upon the trip coordinator to validate and report the status of the group when they check in. Let's see what else. We do require all of our staff to be vaccinated. I do not know if we will be doing testing during the week. I think it would only be as needed for a person who might exhibit some of the symptoms. I know that we will have plenty of tests on hand for each center. Let's see. We still have several centers that are not full. And so what we are doing, we started this last week. We have looked at all of the groups that have been assigned to one of our centers that are not filled out, and we'll be in 20 centers, by the way. And for those where there are still openings, we're contacting all of those groups to see if they would like to bring enough volunteers to fill it out or just to add to the count. And they can do that at no cost to them, or half cost, or whatever they want to pay us. If they want to pay us the full amount, they can, but we are not setting any expectation on that. And the whole point is to get the centers filled so that we can try to make up for this lost time for the past 2 summers. And we are getting some interesting responses on it. Some people are still getting with their groups and will get back to us, but we're going to leave this option open throughout the summer so that if somebody's coming in week 7 and it takes them to week 3 to figure it out, they can still add if the openings are still there. We're just being really flexible on payments and on the cost to come to add people to the group. And I think the responses have been really good, very positive, because they get what we're trying to do and they understand why. Obviously, more volunteers means more homes repaired. And we have had just in the past 2 weeks, we've had 5 new groups sign up. We had a family actually come into ASP one day last week and they registered to come. It was a family of 5. So, it's, we're open until, we just absolutely can't add anybody else. It's different than what we've ever done before, but all of our organizations are in the same boat where we've got families that need us. So if we can get the folks to jump in, then we welcome them to get on board, make it happen.
Don, do you have a question for Karen? You're muted. Oh, can't hear you. There we
There
go.
we go.
I think you said it. Well, hello. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah, hi there.
What percent, this year versus last year, in terms of volunteers, where are you in terms of registrations?
Last year, we had 4,000. And we were happy for that, obviously, because it was really coming out of the smoke from that. And this year, we're at just shy of 8,000.
Great. Okay.
We're still hoping that by the time the summer's over and people have had a chance to really evaluate whether or not they can throw 10 more in at no cost, that we'll get to the 8,000.
So before the pandemic, you were at what, 10?
No, before the pandemic, we were at 12 or 13 every summer.
Okay, great.
So we're pleased with how we're gradually climbing back.
Right. No, that's super.
For the reduced cost, which I think we've done that a little bit as well, trying to tell folks, are you just offering that to people who are already registered, or is that being advertised differently? Like, how would folks who've already paid full price feel, or is it, we're not seeing that?
Well, we're only sending it to the groups who are in the centers where we have the openings.
Okay, yeah. Cool. That makes sense. Yeah.
Who is that little guy
Oh,
sitting
this
on
is-
your? Hey
This is
there!
This is Lyndon. He's almost 4 months.
Wow!
No pants.
And
but
he's ready to volunteer. I can tell.
he's ready.
Oh, he's cute.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I'm glad he's a part of the meeting.
He just woke up.
Oh, I know the feeling.
Our meetings are always baby friendly.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and we are sensitive to the fact that other groups may have paid, but if they want to add, those people they add can come at no cost. Because we're at the end, we want to fill these centers out. We want to get more work done any way possible.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really change any other costs if you're already there.
No,
Mhm.
that's right. Is there anything else I should have covered?
I know Nicole wanted to be here and wasn't able to today, so she actually sent me a typed update, so I'll just drop that in
Oh,
the
good.
chat box in case there's anything there. She mentioned staff training will be in person with some extra COVID procedures in place. Not as many summer staff as last year, but trying to do as much outside and distance. And then the advisory council gave guidance. So not using paper products, again, not pre-plating meals like they did last year, but still trying to distance. So working on figuring out about masks, not requiring vaccinations, but we're encouraging concerned about supply chain issues, working with staff on bulk ordering early, and hoping to do interior work, but prioritizing homeowners who've been vaccinated but not requiring it. So just a few more
So-
updates.
So Karen,
Mhm.
is there any strategy on lumber that you guys are using?
I have not heard anything about that. I'm pretty much staying focused on the volunteer side, so I'm not aware of any strategy at this point. I understand, though, that the costs have dropped or are dropping everywhere. Am I right on that?
Well, we'll see.
I can tell you a piece of sheathing here that during COVID was up to $90 is 38 right now. So we're pleased with that. Still
Yeah.
not sub $10, which is what it was pre-COVID, but it's not as exorbitant as it was.
We paid some pretty hefty bills and for the March bills, and we're just starting to get in the April bill invoices. So hopefully we're going to continue to see drops.
Karen, you mentioned having a bunch of tests on hand at centers in case people had symptoms. I know Megan's looking for cheap tests. Do you know who ordered those or who Megan could talk to find out if there was any good rate?
It would be Nicole and Melissa.
Okay,
I have not been in on that.
okay, thanks.
Mhm.
And Karen, do you have any questions for the group?
No, not that I can come up with right now. It is interesting. We have had some groups, as you all have mentioned. We would be north of 8,000 probably, but we had some groups just pull out altogether, or they've had their counts drop, and for various reasons. Some people have just recently just decided they're not ready to risk it yet. So it sounds like that's a common theme across the different organizations as well. It's just we're there, but we still want to hold back a little bit. And maybe I'm hoping for all of us next year, even through starting in the fall, that all of us will realize that people are really confident and ready to get back and doing what they love to do.
Well, guys, we're a small group today, small but mighty. Was there any other questions or topics you all wanted to discuss?
This may be more for, I don't know how many folks do all the programming and such, but I know we've talked a little bit about just not really sure how we only see high school students really during the summer, a few families who are younger, what they'll be like. Like we've had college students recently, but like, what are these high schoolers going to need from us who maybe have been isolated over the past few years? How are they going to interact socially? How wary might they be, or not unsocialized, but in a way, I don't know if people have adding things to their training or have had youth ministers bring stuff up to them, but I just know it's going to be weird for a lot of them to be around people again, or work more than a few hours in front of a computer. I mean, that's always a challenge over the summer, is getting them off, break, and they were physically doing work for 8 hours today. But they're excited to do that usually. So I don't know if anyone's thought about that or seen that, if you've already seen high schoolers.
For ASP, we tried to stay on our schedule, where every January we publish and make available our study sessions for groups to use in advance of their trip. And the theme was established in the fall, and everything was published in January and then put out there. And then we're finishing up a study guide, which will be provided to each volunteer when they arrive, and it will be based on the same theme. So we made a point. It was tough last year, but we still did it. But this year we feel like we're even more on top of it by getting the theme going and just being very disciplined and getting it out and communicating it to all the groups, so they know what the theme is for the summer, and how they can use the study guide every day at their work site. So we've just tried to get it all out in front of them so that they're aware of what will be, how we'll be approaching it once they get there.
Allison, are the students coming, have they been back in in-person school, or are they, some of them still doing remote stuff? I would think at this
Probably
point,
both.
most people are probably back, maybe.
Yeah,
still
I
some-
would think so, but
Yeah,
I know some places maybe are still going back and forth.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a solution, but we're definitely thinking about that too. We had a spring break group a couple weeks ago with like 40 youth, and just slower. People got tired. Just building endurance again, I think, is just going to be part of it, and maybe setting expectations with staff and adults of what maybe to be gentler about or model. But yeah, we're definitely thinking about that too. And I'm in particular worried about our staff and burnout and maintaining energy throughout the long summer.
Mhm.
Hi, Harold. I'm glad you're here. We're a small group today. Everybody else has already given an update. Do you want to share anything? It muted you. You'll have to unmute yourself.
That's the nicest thing I've heard. So someone asked me to unmute myself. How,
Yes, please.
how considerate. I'm sorry I'm late. I was in a networking meeting, so with a bunch of pastors, so it was a good thing. But so what was the status of our summer program?
Yeah, if you just want to share about how numbers are looking, any COVID protocols, and
Yeah.
any questions for the group or new things.
Yeah, we don't have any COVID protocols.
Okay.
We're just saying let the buyer beware, I think is. Our summer camp is still about, we have capacity for, well, we have 2 camps. We have a DIY camp with 20 students, and that's full. And then we have a regular camp that had a capacity for 60, and I think we'll have 40. So we're still down. Still some churches that aren't ready to come back, but we've got the projects, and we have leaders and volunteers, and so we're just going to go forward and just kind of stay the course. So I'd say we're about 70% if you look at the 2 groups together. So
Great. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask the group?
I guess you'll tell everybody where you'll record where everybody is. So I'm not going to go back and pull
Yeah,
everyone.
I took type notes. I'll send that in the recording too.
Good.
You can catch
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
I did try to log in while I was on the road, and I just kept bombing out. So
I don't know what happened. It's the same link as always. There must be some kind of Zoom issue. So sorry about that.
yeah, I tried on my phone. It just didn't work.
Huh.
So
That's annoying.
but
Well,
it could be the phone.
yeah. Last year we did a summer debrief in early September, and then we did one more meeting in December to kind of check in after registrations were started. I don't think we probably will meet again before September because everybody's going to be super busy, but does that schedule sound good for you all? Is early September about the time when you're kind of debriefing and making plans for next year? That work?
Yeah, we're usually off the week of Labor Day. We close down for that
Okay.
whole week. Other than that,
Okay. I'll make sure we don't put it in that week then. Okay, well, I will get it on the calendar and schedule just so people have it. We're not scrambling to schedule something in August and people are on vacation and all, but I hope the summer goes really well and that more volunteers sign up and fewer volunteers back out, and all your COVID measures or not, they work and everybody stays healthy and we get lots of homes repaired. So I can't wait to see all your pictures and updates on Facebook, and just know we still have a support network for each other. So if something does come up and you want to ask a question of the group, we can get an email out and try to get, some feedback or support that way in
Yeah.
between meetings. So yeah, have a great summer. Go on and do your good work.
bye everyone. Good luck.
Thank you.